I want to be sure that when I arrive back here again at that date in the future, the nurses will have the same wherewithal to care for me then that they did in my prior visits. Right. And we in the community have to stand with them to achieve this unionization effort. The right to organize. It is a right. And we have to stand up for that right. And as we've been chanting, an injury to one is in fact an injury to all. Thank you.
Injury to one. Injury to all. Injury to one. It's an injury to all. An injury to one. It's an injury to all.
Superbug-spreading duodenal scopes at Huntington Memorial Hospital have caused infections months after a January 2015 story made headline news, according to the hospital, as cited in an August 19th LA Times article. That revelation a couple of weeks back of infections which occurred as late as June was cited as evidence the local community needs a stronger voice to balance Huntington Memorial's resistance to transparency and accountability. That's the goal behind California Nurses Association's organizing efforts at the Pasadena hospital, according to spokesperson Jennifer Sue. It is also the backdrop of two recent nurse firings, reportedly without cause. The two nurses, Alicia Almada and Vicki Lynn, together with local church leaders, teachers, and community neighbors, faced an upbeat crowd gathered outside the hospital Monday at noon. Their mission was to meet the press and deliver petitions demanding the nurses' reinstatement. 100 folks chanted an injury to one is an injury to all and listened to Peter Dreyer from Occidental College, Marty Coleman, All Saints Episcopal lay leader and community neighbor and former Huntington patient, Ed Washatka, as well as Ed Honowitz from State Senator Carol Liu's office and supportive nurses from hospitals across Southern California.
Hi, everybody. My name is Peter Dreyer. I live here in Pasadena. I teach at Occidental College. I teach a course of community organizing, and at least one or two of my students this semester are going to be interning with the California Nurses Association because I want them to learn about what it means to fight for justice. And they'll be doing that by working with Jen and the nurses here at Huntington and other places. So I've been following this for as long as it started. I'm amazed but not surprised by the remarkable courage of the nurses at Huntington. I'm outraged but not surprised by the lack of courage of the management of Huntington, by Steve Ralph's $1 million, $1.2 million salary, which he uses to abuse people. I think it's wonderful that over the last 9 or 10 months there's been remarkable community support for the union drive, and I think that with enough pressure, enough protest, enough community support, not only will our two fellow nurses here get their jobs back, but eventually there'll be a collective bargaining agreement between Huntington and the nurses, and the nurses will have a voice in their work and better patient care. So, solidarity.
I want to introduce now Marty Coleman, who's our lay leader at All Saints Episcopal Church.
Well, I have been a long time fan. Huntington Hospital, I've been there for surgeries. These are holy hands. The work you do is just incredible. And to have this kind of injustice done to you is an outrage. But I want us to all know that we belong to each other. You are part of us, and we are part of you. This is holy work, bringing people back to help them. I just want to say how proud I am of you all for standing up for justice. We've been at this work for a long time, and after 84 years, I can't tell you enough how much in solidarity all of us are with you. And we're so grateful for the healing help that you've done and the honor in which you've stood. To invite the Spirit into us so that we are not ugly in our complaint, but we are gracious and we are powerful and we are relentless. These kinds of fights are going all over America. And we have to redeem this country, but we're going to redeem this hospital with the support of this community that loves you dearly. I'm so proud of you and your
Marty. Ed Washatka.
How do you do? My name is Ed Washatka. I've been a resident of Pasadena for 38 years, and I just want to echo what Marty and Peter have said, and particularly Marty, who said, you know, we need to redeem this hospital, the administration anyway, for the efforts it's taken over the last several months to break the organizing efforts of the union. It's just, I can't believe it. It's unjust, it's unfair, and I recognize the double standard. The Nurses Association wasn't allowed to have people gather at the table and hand out materials, yet those who are against the union in the same cafeteria at the same time were permitted to hand out materials against the union. It's mind-boggling to me. I've been in the hospital twice, and I hope it never happens again, but you know, you get old, things break down, the plumbing wears out. I want to be sure that when I arrive back here again at that date in the future, the nurses will have the same wherewithal to care for me then that they did in my prior visits. The right to organize. It is a right. And we have to stand up for that right. And as we've been chanting, an injury to one is in fact an injury to all. Thank you.
Injury to all. An injury to one is an injury to all. An injury to one is an injury to all. We also have a nurse from St. John's. Share a few words of support.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Baker-Wade from St. John's in Santa Monica. Alicia and Vicki, I just want to let you know that it was a seemingly insurmountable task in the beginning. A few of us sat alone in chairs leafleting out in front of the hospital. Nurses walked a block to avoid us. It took several years. They spent millions of dollars. They instilled fear, apprehension, anxiety. Sometimes I just completely felt defeated, but we kept pushing and we kept going, and little by little, and I hope that the Huntington nurses can hear this, nurses started to join us out on the street. And we just stood out there knowing they were looking at us through the windows, fearless, and kept at it. A couple of years ago, we were able to bring CNA to our hospital by a landslide vote. We just closed our second contract. There needs to be a transparent disciplinary system in place. I have representation. I am as out as you can be as a union organizer. Don't give up.